how do we raise up a generation of students who will serve God, love their neighbor, and joyfully build a gospel-centered culture? That's the question that a small group of Denver parents asked each other over 10 years ago. The result was a decision to start a classical Christian school founded on time-tested educational methodologies of the past. It would be a rigorous but affordable education, and rather than focusing on standardized test performance, like so many schools do, it would equip students for lives of learning, critical thinking, and joyful discovery. That school is Augustine Classical Academy.
When we first toured ACA, I remember walking through the classrooms, and on every desk there was a Bible, and that spoke to me. I mean, huge. That if this is not built on the primacy of Christ, on His work, that who we are before God, who He is, and how that relationship grows and develops. If that is not the basis, then it's not worth chasing after or spending time in doing.
We had not really heard much about the classical model before enrolling our son in this school. But as we've experienced, him attending a school that has this model, we've seen how beneficial it is. It's just the growth that he's had since he's been here. It's been phenomenal, and we really do believe that this type of model, of education model, will really set him up for success.
Today, Augustine Classical Academy helps each child reach his or her God-given potential using teaching methods and curricula that align with how children are created to learn at different stages in their development. Our students learn all subjects as an interconnected whole, which enables them to understand meaning and engage in big ideas.
But watching our children, my two sons, one's 13 and one's 12, interact with kids that are older than them, younger than them, interact with girls and boys, interact with staff at the museums, and they do it in a way that's deferential, that's humble and respectful. Mm-hmm. And at times, again, they'll do it in ways that I might not necessarily do it. And I'll think to myself, that's a learning lesson for me. Thank goodness they're going to ACA. So not only are my kids seeing the modeling of good godly behavior, I see them looking at all of God's creation, people, places, and things, and treating them with curiosity and respect. And I just love that.
And unlike so many of today's schools, we treat our students not merely as future workers who will contribute to the marketplace one day. Instead, we treat them as curious and capable human beings who reflect God's image. We believe an education should equip our students to think well and speak well, to distinguish truth from fallacy, to develop hearts for God's word and the good of others. It's an education that nourishes their minds, hearts, and souls.
When you are educated, what's happening is you're being formed and shaped as a person to know God's truth, to live virtuous lives in a dark world, and to participate in something that's going to go beyond you.
The backdrop of this education is a community of partnership among parents, teachers, and supporters who are committed to the good of each student and the flourishing of the school.
Even though we thought previously that we were a very connected family, and I felt like the classical Christian model, again, was rooting us back into our values of faith, family, adventure, fun, and those values have always been important to us.
It personally gave me a lot of comfort to know that our boys were going to be taken care of, that we're in a really solid community with great parents, great teachers. We're just really impressed from day one.
Ultimately, Augustine Classical Academy helps parents guide their children along a path that makes a meaningful difference in the world. We're educating students to know about the world and engage in it for God's glory.